And TWA2K Sports Report is back. All right, welcome in everybody. It's the Sports Report. Now, UFC 260 just wrapped up. We got a new champ in town. Francis Ngannou takes the heavyweight belt from Stipe Miocic in an impressive knockout fashion. Now, let's see how long he'll be able to hold it for. There's definitely a couple dogs up there, a couple of dogs high ranked in that weight class that can make some noise. That's for sure. But Ngannou is a tough out and looked very impressive last night. Now, question: is Sean O'Malley back? Is he back? Did you like his performance there? I'm gonna say it was a little sweet and sour for me. He looked like let's start where with I'm not impressed, because that was that's a little less detailed. When he had the opportunity, I believe it was in the first, when he caught him with that roundhouse kick, I think it was, and clocked him in the head, and Almeida goes down, and O'Malley's walking off, acting like he won. Man, Buddy bounced back in that fight and came back and started to smarten up in that fight, and started to do things that got O'Malley uncomfortable. Man, how you gotta chuck your ego out and just stop trying to showboat and go in for the kill. You got him down, jump on him, and fucking end that shit. I almost betted on O'Malley by KO, and while I would have won late in the third, I would have been so fucking steamed that he felt the need to showboat instead of going in for the kill. I know you're proud, I know you're happy, but that type of shit with a guy that you're lucky it was Almeida, and Almeida came out with a terrible game plan, not utilizing his leg kicks enough, and O'Malley came out banging in the first. What if that was your only opportunity and you decide to strut instead of going in and fucking ending the fight right there when you should have? So that, not impressed. But I'm also a little impressed with how O'Malley came back, and how he was checking his kicks. His legs seemed to be a little bit stronger this time around, and he seemed to be working on the issues that were the problem the last fight with Vera. But we'll see. It'll be interesting. This was a type of matchup where you expect O'Malley to get the KO, and he went in and he did it. But I don't want to gas him and be like, oh yeah, you totally crushed it there. That was one glaring area that against a better fighter with higher fight IQ could have got back and won that fight from him. So the other thing in UFC 260, the early prelims, was the ref in the Azatar Barot fight. So in round 3, I forget what Barot clocked him with, but I think it was a hook, and popped out Azatar's fucking mouth guard. And so the ref is coming in, and he's almost like waving his hands, like he's coming in out of like emergency, because he's seen what we all seen, that Azatar was fucking knocked unconscious, and he was hunched over, he was slouched over and unconscious. And the ref comes in, he's running in, and is like as if he's going to stop it. His arms are at his side as if he's going to stop it, and then he just pulls back at the last second. He actually ended up tripping Azatar, and Azatar got on his back and got the shit beat out of him for like 4 minutes straight. And when Barriot had a full mount guard on him, just beating the living shit out of him. Now, it's not. I think that the corner maybe should have been looked at to stop it, because he was literally getting like his life taken from him, and but the ref was all about this little shit. Like, he kept trying to call out little shit and kept trying to intervene in the fight, and so he actually intervened while the guy was in full guard because his mouth guard was out. He tells him to put his mouth guard back in, and keeps, like, the guy's mouth guard was, if your mouth guard is out, you got knocked the fuck out. Like, and he was unconscious. There's a reason that the ref was running towards them to stop it. Once you're at the point where you're running in, it's too late to decide to come off of it. If you're at the point where you're running in, that means that somebody is knocked out significantly, and somebody is unconscious. And if they are not conscious, then that's it for them. You can't go conscious and come back into consciousness and still be expected to fight. You took the power shot, you got knocked out cold, you're done. And that's why the ref was running out there. You should not have pulled back in that spot. That was the appropriate time to end the fight. That fight went on 4 minutes longer than it should have. It was a complete shit show, and I'm never gonna say comment on somebody's job. He's obviously a professional. Some professionals have bad days. It's not my job. It's not my job to say. I believe in second chances. I believe people can change. I believe people can fix their issues. And I don't just necessarily feel like saying what should or should happen to somebody, because the company knows best in that circumstance, and it shouldn't be up to somebody on the internet to decide what the fate of the referee is. But I feel like that's something that should be brought up, and that if you as a ref are pushed to the point where you're running towards the fight, it's over at that point. Where you are, as an emergency, you're supposed to be kind of staying on the side watching it. There's a reason why you were running towards the fighter. You're running towards him to stop it because you saw a guy get knocked unconscious. You don't have to question any more than that. So it's a tricky thing when we're talking about human beings throwing their fists into try and knock other people unconscious. It's a tricky thing to try and manage, but I just feel like that was worth pointing out to kind of showcase something that's an issue with the refereeing in the octagon. Also, another thing, they always talk, don't hook the fence. Why the fuck is there a fence there in the first place? Why not have plexiglass? Like the natural, like, you're supposed to hook, like, your natural inclination of your appendages is to, like, if hooking onto it is illegal, then why the fuck is it there in the first place? It's an octagon. Make it out of fucking plexiglass. Make it out of whatever. But why have a fucking cage there? And you're not supposed to like hook on it. Like if your big toe touches it the wrong way, then you're just supposed to get fucked in a fucked position, that in a dangerous position because like the fence that shouldn't even be there is like interrupting your movement. that's stupid. The UFC needs to put plexiglass in or something. You can't have a fence and have, why is a fence there if people aren't supposed to use it? End of story. And so the UFC before 259, the Adesanya moving up to light heavy. Now, a lot of people trashing and throwing shade at Adesanya, but I don't feel like this is a huge stain on his accomplishment so far. And in fact, I give him a lot of props for, he went all 5 rounds versus a title holder while he's, moving up 20, 25 pounds. It's a very bold thing to do. And there's no reason why he can't one day get that belt. Adjusting to that sort of weight is extremely difficult. You're moving around differently. You're generating power differently. You're doing different things. And do I think maybe he can't beat the top of the division, but hey, man, if he wants to, that'll help him. That'll help him for when he's fighting in lower weight classes, and also who knows what happens if he came in to a light heavy bout, with a borderline top 10 opponent. Who knows? Maybe he wins. I don't feel like it's a stain on his career, his accomplishments. He's still a great fighter. I'm still stoked to see him every time he's in the ring, and good for him for trying something, because no one was challenging him in the division he's dominating. So of course, try something new. Why not? It's not a bad thing. And I see a lot of people commenting on, with Khabib retired and all these greats retiring, that the UFC and Conor not underperforming recently, that like the UFC is in a bad spot right now because it doesn't have anybody dominating, and I don't agree with that. I think true fighting fans should love it. It's nice to have a top 5 matchup and not have it like go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 accordingly. It's it's amazing that Derek Lewis can walk in there and knock out the guy who's like the number 1 contender. Like it's like I love that parity. I don't think like why it's not my psychology. My psychology is that I love to see good matchups, and I like it when anybody can win. But like I don't get the psychology that's like you need to see someone just completely crushing it in order to enjoy the sport. Like you need to have a Jordan dominating in order to think that the sport is any good. Those are not real sports fans. Those are front runners. Those are people who are not genuine sports fans. People who don't truly appreciate dynamics and just need to see greatness. All the meanwhile, while you follow them in real life, and the lives they lead are like the opposite of great. But they just need to see greatness in order to feel better about the fact that they don't achieve it in their day-to-day lives. That's my opinion on that. Now, transitioning over to the NFL. So, New England making moves now, aren't they? I feel like Belichick is shook off Brady, so otherwise I don't think you can really justify what he's doing right now. Think about it. He's building a discount free agent bubble team while he's supposed to be in the middle of a rebuild. How much sense does that make? You're not going to get better this way. spending all this money to get some mediocre players, discount fucking quarterbacks. The way you're gonna get New England back to its greatness again is by accumulating high draft picks and rebuilding your team from the ground up. This is putting a fucking band-aid on a dam that's breaking. That's, the Flex Seal meme, basically. Basically, the band-aid is discount free agents. And, it might get them in the playoffs, but as far as, like, the future of the Patriots goes, I think it was a bad move. We'll see how it plays out. AFC is very crazy right now, but are you really so confident in Cam that or like what's your plan if that doesn't work, which is a very real possibility. But that's my explanation, is that Belichick and Kraft were shook off Brady's Super Bowl, so they went a little crazy, and I think it's going to set the Pats back for the next decade at least. Now, who does the San Francisco 49ers, who do they like at number 3? Did they do this because they're thinking maybe there's a chance that Zach Wilson will still be there? I don't think so. I think the Jets are going to draft him. I think he's a good plan B, ironically, Orlovsky, for if Sam Darnold doesn't pan out. So let's just consider that what's supposed to happen is going to happen, and that it goes Lawrence, Wilson, 1 and 2. Is it really Fields? Is it Fields that they like? Could it be Trey Lance? Mac Jones? I don't know. It's interesting. San Fran, if they're making that kind of move and giving up 2 first-round draft picks for the future, they definitely had to have considered that Lawrence Wilson would go 1 and 2, and they have to have liked somebody. Everyone says it's Fields. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Lance. They got Garoppolo. They can roll Garoppolo out there. They got a very young team. They can have a Mahomes situation, which is a very the Mahomes, how that played out is a very good situation. Develop somebody for a year and then start to roll them out. So it could go either way. They're in a position where they could do both if they feel like Fields can come in and jump out right away, or if they feel like they have a year of Trey Lance to develop. I think Trey Lance is a higher upside, to be quite honest with you. If I had to rank Lawrence, Wilson, Lance, Fields, Jones, and that's how I would go. I thought Lance, just for what he did at NDSU, like when your Fields, look what Dwayne Haskins did in the Ohio State offense. Like it's almost like I hate to say it's a knock, but like when you got guys that are that good at getting open, and then you go into the NFL where your throwing windows are so much smaller and tighter. It's really just a whole other dynamic, and it's a whole system. It's a system shock. So we'll see what happens. Don't be surprised if they like Lance at number 3. We shall see. Now, here's one thing that's been bothering me about the NFL, and it's cropped up recently with this, the quarterback market in the last 5 years has gotten so much better. The median level of performance of the quarterbacks is rising tremendously. I don't know what it's to do with more pro-style college concepts, or just college is doing a better job getting their kids ready for the NFL. But that either way, there's an incredible saturation of talent in the NFL, and I think the NFL would be wise to expand over the course of the next couple decades. I think they should add at least 6 more teams in 12 to 15 years. It's the talent's going to continue to come out, and the fact that guys like Jameis Winston are sitting on benches is insane to think. Is absolutely insane to think about. That 5,000-yard quarterback is on the bench. There's too much talent to not expand right now, and we could expand and still have this CFL or CFL XFL merger and still have that be good and still watch great football. Now, being as I am a Canadian, you would want to my take on the CFL NFL merger. Now, I did play a little football in high school, nothing much, a little cornerback, a little special teams, etc. I've gone to CFL games. I root for the Argos because I'm in Toronto. But that being said, I think that it's kind of a little silly the way that the rule changes that the CFL has. And I respect it. It's definitely better than no football. The 3-down football is definitely better than no football. But the way I compare it, it's like if hockey in America, they had the goalie nets in the center of the ice. It's just it's a distortion of the things that make American football a great sport. Having the field goal like at the front of the end zone, like somebody could run into that shit, the ball could like doink off the fucking off the field goal post, the fucking like 25-yard end zones, the 3 downs, the constant punting. It's just like, I think like kids that grow up playing CFL are less they're less prepared to be professional football players. I think that the changes that the CFL makes to the game make the game less watchable, quite frankly, and it just doesn't make sense. You need 2 downs to get 10 yards. Well, that basically, why ever run the ball? Literally, unless it's a fake out, why are you running the ball? Like, what? No running backs average more than 5 yards per carry. If you have a running back that averages 5 yards per carry, that's a running back who's literally tearing shit up. And so that's like the best extreme outcome for a runner, is to average 5 yards per carry, and that's what he's got to do to be able to make a down conversion in the CFL. It's just, I really hope that the CFL does not skip this opportunity and this chance to work with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and to work with the XFL, because we're getting a huge lifeline here. Like the CFL was the alternative to the NFL, and the XFLs came in, and immediately they've grown a fan base, and they probably will, to be quite honest, grow a fan base that's larger than the CFL if you give them enough time. And The Rock, because of his former connections with the CFL, is reaching out and trying to make things happen. We cannot turn down this opportunity to advance football in Canada and to play football. Fuck tradition. fuck tradition if the way that they're doing things is better. The reason why hockey's played in America the way that it's played here is because we made it better. We made it it's a good product, and that's why America is playing it over here. We need to have that same mentality and stop thinking, oh, we're different and we're being Canadian and we're being different. If America does something better, why not adopt that? Why be stubborn and just say, oh wow, Canadian culture, like let's keep doing things. Let's watch football where there's fucking like 50 punts per game. That's not the way forward. We're very lucky to be in the opportunity to have an opportunity where the CFL and XFL can merger and create a awesome second league to be able to assess talent and to be able to spread the game of football in North America. And please, CFL, do not ruin this opportunity. That's it. That's a sports report. Thank you, everybody, who stuck around and listened. And until next month, I'm gone.